welcome to the Bells and Whistle Show in association of Reginald's Reg 31 and Safer Training Solutions. I'm your host Nando, and alongside me to my right side we've got Elijah back in the building. Welcome back, Elijah.
Thank you for having me.
And we have two special guests in the building. We have Dane and David from Gloves Up, Knives Down. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. For the listeners that don't know who Gloves Up, Knives Down are, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Well, Gloves Up, Knives Down was an initiative that was started in March this year as a response to the spiralling knife crime figures that were happening, but also in a response to the fact that no one seems to be doing anything about it, or it seemed to us. So we set about this initiative to raise awareness, and we rode a tide of goodwill by actually producing a graphic that we thought could be quite a cool thing for people to wear, and with the expertise on social media and the boys Dane, Joe and Finn, who are the co-founders, with their links with the gyms, we got a lot of the boxing fraternity behind us, all of the gyms, and a lot of high profile boxers. So I mean, if Dane talks to you about his expertise and what they've achieved, particularly on Instagram, it's a fairly impressive roll call.
Yeah, I think what we do on social media, we've got 9,000 to 10,000 followers at the moment. Social media nowadays, everyone's on social media. So social media is a big thing. If you want to raise awareness, if you can get loads of people in the t-shirts on social media, like we have, boxers, influencers, in the t-shirts, it's a great message, Gloves Up, Knives Down, and everyone sees it.
The thing is about Gloves Up, Knives Down as well is that it seems to change by the day. It's got a big following, and we weren't quite sure when we started which direction it should go, and we've met a number of people that have helped, if you like, shape the way that it's gone. And one in particular is a United Nations child psychologist called Professor Joanna Costa, who was kind enough to write a treatise for us about how we can attack knife crime. And basically we're involved in what's called primary intervention, which is targeting children 7 to 13 for the purposes of conversation, or saying difficult areas or with difficult family backgrounds. And because we're a charity, our product, if you like, is to give these kids that perhaps have never been in a boxing room before a starter boxing kit. So they put this thing on, they're blinged up, you know, and we give them training sessions as well. And this is a product that works, and we've costed the thing out so that to potential donors for X amount that we're not at liberty to disclose now, they can put several hundred kids through this program. We know it works because, you know, in the build-up to this, we've been doing sessions at gyms and putting kids in the ring that have never been in a ring before, and these kids transform in you know, within an hour. It's an astonishing product, and it works.
Apart from knife crime campaigners like yourselves, even gun crime campaigners, what can the government do? What do you think? What can the government do to stop these crimes? Because it's just getting out of hands. We got to the point that it was 1 every day, 2 every day.
Well, we're of the opinion that first of all, it's a societal issue. I don't think it's something that's just happened overnight. We've had conversations with the London Ambulance Brigade, and they showed us astonishing figures that show that knife crime is the same now as it was in 1948, which is an astonishing thing, I know, but of course now we've got the media and social media that are talking about this all the time, and they've got things to blame it, like drugs and so on and so forth. We think it's quite a complex thing, and one of the reasons that we're doing the 13 to 16-year-olds is to not try and right the wrongs of society, but if people had been given things to do, or perhaps education didn't have sport taken off the curriculum, for example, that people might have found greater outlets for their energy then. But of course they didn't. You know, everyone's got the natural energy, everyone's got the natural aggression and so on and so forth. And if they're out there doing it now, we don't know what you could do to stop it. That's why we want to get kids before they make that decision to do it. Would you say? I mean,
yeah, I think getting kids, the youth of today, into sport would really help. Like David mentioned, get them in sport, get them in a team. It's a community in itself. So if they get in that team, it's their own sort of gang, if you like. And you gain respect there. You earn respect. You learn respect. Like David said, natural aggression, especially boxing, of course. I think sport is the key, I think.
I'm sure it's hard working. I'm sure you've worked with families who have been victims, with lost loved ones through knife crime. How do you deal with that mentally? Because hearing those stories must be hard, hearing that every day and having to deal with that.
I think you're right. You're right. I mean, I think that so many people are affected by it because it's like a ripple effect, isn't it? And everyone's got a story about, well, I know so and so that got it and so and so forth. It's a difficult thing. I mean, I think what you out of bad, very often good things come. And I think from people that have been affected by it, if you can mobilise those people to voice their opinion and to demonstrate how strongly they feel about it, you know, we feel that with Gloves Up Knives Down, for example, you get the kids talking about it, they've got a brand that they can wear and so on and so forth. They feel good about it. The parents, the social workers can see the change by them being in the ring. And it's a ripple out effect, and you would hope that eventually it would turn around and the kids that are committing knives think, actually, we shouldn't be doing this. There's a tide of people that really are against this.
Yeah, of course. Just to ask you a question, like, from what I'm thinking is, I know you started up this year, but how long has this been in the making? Is this something that's been years in the making, or was it something that just like you were inspired to do this year?
So, for us, I mean, 3 of us have been in the group of boxers. We've boxed for 4 or 5 years. How it all started, obviously we joined up with David and one other. How it all started was my friend, so one of us 3, brother got stabbed through both hands. So as you can imagine, that triggered us to want to do something about knife crime. And that's how it sort of got created. Gloves Up Knives Down, and really wanted to do something about it. And obviously since then, that was March this year, we started this. And since then we've obviously been creating a lot of traction, raising awareness and spreading the word. And that's what we're really passionate about, as you can imagine. It's someone personal and someone we know that got stabbed.
But I think it's fair to say, though, that when we got together, it was quite a spontaneous thing, really. We didn't know necessarily what we're doing other than creating the awareness. And I think it seems that fortuitously there's a fusion of talents that all 5 of us co-founders have got that help make it what it is in terms of the way it is graphically, in terms of the way we're handling social media, in terms of the way we're forming ourselves into a community interest company and so on and so forth. So we at the moment we seem to have a balance, and we've got people approaching us all the time, like consultants and PR companies, to offer their services. It's astonishing. I mean, I don't say necessarily we've tapped into a nerve, but clearly people really want to do something about it. And there's lots of other groups that are trying to do things in their own way as well. So ours is quite visible. Ours is highly visible, probably the most visible initiative out there at the moment. So if we can provide something like a rallying point for the others to get behind, then you know, you can have an enormous groundswell of opinion that want to do something about it, which takes us back to the government, where they can't ignore it. You know, if it means that there's change in schools, I'm loath to say like Jane Elder wanting to change school meals, but if the government think that actually we should be incorporating more sport into schools, more initiatives like this, more after school clubs, then so much the better. But of course you won't see the results for a number of years, and that's the thing, you know.
I think one thing that the government messed up was, I'm sure it was the same for Elijah and myself, Chiz behind the camera. When we grew up, we used to go to youth centres. I don't know about the area where you guys live, but around here, you can't find one anymore. They knocked it all down. So the kids, you see, I'll tell you a story. The other night, I had a debate with my friend. We went into McDonald's at midnight. There were kids at 10 years old as a group in McDonald's. What are they doing there at that time? It's like, it's boredom. They've got nowhere to go. So we're in a world where you can't win, because if a kid stays at home and all he does is play video games, he's influenced by those video games, the ones that are like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, for example. But then if he goes out, he's at risk of joining a gang, getting stabbed. So where do we find that balance?
I mean, you're right. I mean, it's right and appropriate to point to a reproachful finger at the government, but you know, you can't discount the fact that parents should be perhaps taking a greater role in showing some guidance as well. I mean, one of the things that Professor Joanna talks about is, you know, breakdown of family structures and stuff like that. And this is where, as Dane just said earlier on, this is the whole thing about Gloves Up Knives Down, that if we can get the kids into, what are very often impoverished kind of boxing clubs, the fact is there's a mutual support, there's a mutual respect, and if you like, they're being adopted by a new family structure. We're at the moment, it should come out at the end of, probably the middle of October. On our website, it explains what we're about and what we do and the whole thing about primary intervention. But we're doing a trailer stroke promo film that incorporates all of that into a 30-second snatch, because that's people receive it on social media. That's their attention span. So it shows a grim urban environment in black and white, without giving too much away, because we want it to be a surprise. A kid that's, on the thing, kind of desperate, but then he's given the gift, which is our package, and then all of a sudden this film turns to colour, and you see him in the ring, sparring, and we were gratefully given the use of the Rectum to do this, because it's the most iconic gym. And then the kid's a champion, so you're looking down on him to begin with. At the end of this thing, you're looking up at him, he's a champion, and he's surrounded in colour by the Gloves Up Knives Down team. And that's the thing. So it's taken a kid that's alienated in an urban environment and taken them into a nurturing kind of thing where they can have respect and learn self-governance.
Do you think another way to do it is to get athletes who were part of crime to go around to schools and give speeches? For example, the likes of Anthony Joshua, the likes of Richard Riak, or even Kay Prosper that's been on the show before. These are people who were part of a gang or, for example, sold drugs and did whatever they had to do, but they turned their life around through boxing. But you could turn your life around through football. Troy Deeney did the same.
Yep.
Do you think I don't know who can organise this, whether the government can say to these athletes, we need you to step up, go to these schools, give your speeches. But another thing is maybe people who have been in prison for stabbing someone, coming out, change their lives, go to the school and say, this is what I went through in prison. I'm a 40, 50, 60-year-old man, I've done my time, I've got nothing to live for now, in a sense of like, my record is messed up, no job, and maybe that can switch something, a light bulb in those kids' minds.
I think everybody needs a roadmap to see what the consequences are of your actions, and they're not getting it from their peers, they're not getting it from people perhaps involved in drugs, and very often not getting it from their parents as well. What we know is that all of the boxers that we've spoken to, they've all got their own story, and boxers and people that are out on the streets are very often drawn from the same demographic pool, so they can communicate with them. You would agree with that, wouldn't you, in terms of going in there and speaking to people, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like David mentioned, a lot of the boxers, the ones you mentioned, Andy Joshua, Dillian White as well, lots of footballers, lots of famous sportsmen, have been in the same situation. That's what the youth find themselves in now. And what's got them out of that, which we keep on mentioning, is sport. Boxing mainly is a big one. So if you're right what you're saying, if they can get into schools and speak to people about it, it could definitely change. It can make them change their mind. To see someone that inspires them or motivates them, that's made that change in path down the right path, can make them think twice about what they're doing, or even before they get into life of crime, life on the streets, make them think twice about even starting that. I think, like I mentioned earlier, social media is a similar way. It's not going to schools, but a lot of people on social media, so it is teaching people on social media, the youth of today. It's doing the same sort of thing. It's getting the word out there, and on social media we've got Tyson Fury, for example, in a t-shirt, and the journey that he's gone on, depression and where he is now. That's just motivational in itself.
I think one of the things about you were saying about people going in and doing lectures, I think it's good, except I would say that when you've got someone speaking, someone listening, there's a kind of a gap. I think with social media, as Dan was saying, it kind of bridges the gap and it makes it kind of somehow more intimate because of the physicality of having you close on a phone. But also, I would also say that with Gloves Up Knives Down as well, it is a physical, you are interacting. It's not like listening to someone having no effect on you. If you go into a ring with one of these guys, or one of these professional boxers, you've got to think on your feet, mate. Do you know what I mean? Without meaning to sound totally misogynistic, you've got to man up, and you've got to exercise self-governance. You've got to know what you do. You've got to be, you've got to be sharp about the whole thing. And I think if people are subject to that physicality and that interaction, physically trying to punch someone, or they're doing the pads and stuff like that, that's a good thing. It breaks down the barrier where you have a speaker and an audience. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Bridging that gap, I think, is a tough one for the audience to understand.
Yeah, and the thing with going into schools, like David said, there's no bridge there. People can be scrolling. The beauty of social media, people can be scrolling through social media and stumble across Gloves Up Knives Down, and that's quite special in itself, because maybe someone on this. I mean, our aim is primary intervention to target kids before they are on the streets in their life of crime. But if they are in a life of crime, how likely are they to search in Gloves Up Knives Down or be at school and be interested in an appearance by someone? But if they're stumbling through social media, scrolling through social media and stumble across Gloves Up Knives Down, they look for the page, they'll see influencers, boxers that motivate them, and they think, oh, it might make them change their mind, think twice about what they're
it looks
doing.
like they've got access to them.
Yeah.
In a quite an intimate way,
Yeah.
Definitely. I think I like what you guys are doing, because the awareness that you're bringing out is very important, especially when you're thinking about sometimes what tends to happen in the news is that a certain topic happens for a while and then it dies down and people kind of forget. They forget. It kind of goes past their minds and then it goes back up again, so it takes a dip. But I like how, kind of just going through your website before you guys kind of came up, that awareness that you're getting people to wear the shirts, and just through t-shirts, and as you said, through social media as well, is such a powerful tool nowadays, because everyone has access to their phones in order to do that.
That's the way to. I mean, the thing is, you're absolutely right. And as I said earlier on, as soon as Brexit's out of the way, this is going to be the biggest thing. There's no doubt about it. And what we found, which is fantastic, as I said earlier on, there's lots of other smaller initiatives and lots of other different initiatives as well. And that's good. So it's all about creating awareness, and there's people out there doing collections and tube stations, and there's people on Oxford Street, nearly every day doing it now. But what we've striven to do is to go one step further by having a tangible product to go, because we've inadvertently, if you like, we've created this brand, and it is. So, from my point of view and experience, we're trying to now manage this like a brand with a product, and donors can buy this product, and for not much money, they can change not just one kid's life, but probably his family's life, his friends' lives, and ultimately, please God, it will stop someone getting stabbed somewhere down on the line. So. It's a lot less than 100 quid, slightly over 50, a lot less than 100. So if someone donates that amount of money, that's, that kid's going to get a starter kit, they're going to put the thing on, as you'll see when the film comes out. He's blinged up, he's got a sense of self-worth, he's in a ring, he's got to think for himself, he's going to come out of it, he's going to want to take up boxing. It works. What Professor Sharma said works. This is our product, and I think, for want of a better expression, that's our USP. Yes, it's awareness. Yes, we've got the boxing community behind us. Yes, we've got big boxers behind us, but we've got a product as well.
That sounds great. Dane, if someone does want to get involved, a listener right now, or they know someone that's part of a life of crime and they want them to escape this life, how can they get involved?
Well, the first thing is make contact with us. So on Instagram, we're Gloves Up Knives Down. Twitter, we're just Knives Down. And this Facebook is also Knives Down as well. Of course, you can email us, support@glovesupknivesdown.co.uk. Make that initial contact with us, and then we can go from there. And we can start to build a relationship and start to help you as such. We get so many DMs nowadays, and we always make sure we reply to every single one of them, whatever it's about. And that's special, really, because some people that get in touch with us are actually they're in a life of crime. They're saying we actually need a way out, and they're not telling their friends that they're messaging us, but they want to build a relationship with us. They want to make a start down the right route, and that's why they're approaching us. And we've helped someone, and we've also helped someone get out of that life of crime, and we've got in touch with a gym and put them in gym. So it's a great thing, really. So get in touch with us, and we'll certainly go from there, and we can make a difference. That's what we're trying to do.
We say join the movement.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, join the movement. Yeah.
So you heard it here first, guys. And if you missed that, we will put that on our Instagram ourselves at Bells and Whistle Sport, and we will advertise the movement, as David said.
I hope you're going to wear the t-shirts, guys.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I love the t-shirts, by the way. I love the
Thank you.
design.
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we came on air, we was talking about the big fight that's happening tomorrow, Spence v Porter.
Yeah.
You think Spence is going to win?
Yeah, I mean, Spence is a big name now.
Yeah, he's the truth.
Yeah,
as they call him.
yeah, and it's a tough night for Porter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very tough, durable, but Errol Spence, he's a brilliant fighter. He's shown. I mean, his last fight against Mikey Garcia, it was a move up in weight for Garcia, but he just showed his class. He just outclassed him in every single way, and Garcia's a brilliant fighter. And I think in this fight, if he can knock him out or put in a good show, and then he's gonna come up with some good fights. I mean, the main one is against Terence Crawford.
He said he wants to go up and fight Canelo. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Canelo at the moment is light heavyweight.
Yeah, I know. Canelo goes back to middleweight. That's he's a fairly big welterweight, so it could be an option. But Canelo, Canelo started off at a similar weight to Errol Spence, didn't he? Yeah.
But that's a tough ass. I mean, they're both sort of pound for pound.
Yeah.
In people's top tens.
Yeah. Both probably the top two best body shots in the boxing world right now.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a tear up. That would be a tough night for Spence. I mean, Canelo is flying at the moment, as everyone knows. One of the biggest names in boxing.
Do you think he'll beat Kovalev?
It's difficult. I think he's got him at the right time. He's definitely got him at the right time. But Kovalev's not lost it. I mean, against Yard, he showed his class. He's still got it. So it's a tough one to call. I would still bet on Canelo, just because I mean, he's moved up in weights already.
Yeah.
I know he isn't jumping up another 2 weights to light heavy, but I think he can still do it. He's got that skill. He's got that grit. He's very, very tough. And Kovalev, even at this weight, I don't think Kovalev will knock him out. So I think I'd still say Canelo would win that fight.
I wonder, my dream fight at the moment would be Canelo Smith.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I just heard today it's been announced Smith's fighting John Ryder.
Ryder, that's it.
Ryder, yeah, John Ryder. He's a good fighter as well. So that's going to be a tough fight for Smith. I think he still comes off with a win for that one. But yeah, that would be a good fight. I mean, if we talk about that fight, that's different to Kovalev Canelo. Smith is a big super middleweight.
Yeah.
That he can move up to light heavy today. I couldn't. Who would you say would win out of that fight? Canelo and Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Smith. But on points, I can't. I've heard the debate
He's
about
powerful,
this.
though.
He is powerful. I can't see him knocking out Canelo, if I'm honest. He'll beat him on points. The one boxer I think that would outbox Canelo is Billy Joe Saunders. I'm a big Saunders fan.
Yeah, he's a brilliant boxer. His boxing IQ is just through the roof. Through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, how he boxed against Lemieux was just.
Yeah.
If he boxes like that against Canelo, and then no one could argue that wouldn't be a great fight.
Apparently, it's happening in May. Eddie Hearn announced it that they're going to try and make it for May.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Joe Saunders signing with Matchroom. Some big fights lined up in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Triple G. He hasn't even fought Triple G yet.
Yeah.
Triple G's still hanging about.
Yeah, he's fighting next week for the IBF title. So.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough fight.
Yeah.
That's a tough fight.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, he's getting on now, Triple G. But if he comes through that, which I think he will do, it'll be a tough night for him. And then it could be a match with Saunders.
The other one, it was a big story. Everyone's against it. Nigel Benn.
At
55 years old, coming out of retirement, he's going to fight Sakio Bigcar in Birmingham, November 23rd.
Yeah.
But apparently, when it was first announced, it was like a comeback fight. That's it. Now he's saying I want 2-3 fights, including a title fight.
I haven't actually heard that. I haven't heard that section of it. I know he's fighting.
2-3 fights with a potential title fight.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, but he's training all the time. He's very fit. He's been training for he's very fit, and he can definitely still box. And I think the guy he's fighting he's an ex-world champion.
Yeah,
From-
40 years
from
old as well.
Yeah, yeah. So
15 years younger than
he's got
him.
the age
so-
on his side there, yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see. I've seen an interview with Conor Bennett. I don't think he's too
Impressed.
impressed. Yeah, he's obviously supporting him, but it'll be a tough one to watch. But I think he'll do well, Nigel Benn. I mean, he's very. You can see if you watch him on Instagram and
Yeah.
the videos per se, he's always training. And the same, I think the same with the other guy as well. He's very fit, always
Yeah, he's
training.
still active.
So I think it'll be quite a good fight actually. I think everyone will be surprised. I think it'll be a good night.
Yeah. The more controversial story about this wasn't him coming out of retirement. It's the fact that the fight is on pay-per-view.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's an online pay-per-view, 15 quid.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No wonder he wants a few more fights.
I think
that one you
I think Nigel Benn is such a big name. I mean,
Yeah.
I think still people would still buy that. Surprisingly, it's like if Mayweather came out of retirement and fought now. I know he's not the same age, but it's the same sort of thing. If he were to even fight Pacquiao again, there's still an interest there,
Yeah.
even though they've already fought and it was years ago, and it's past they're both past their prime. People will still watch it.
Yeah.
I
I watched the exhibition fight again in Japan.
Yeah.
I waited 5 hours for this guy to come out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot. People have a lot of things to say about that exhibition fight. Yeah, I think he might do a few more. He got paid quite a lot, so I don't see why not.
He's apparently trying to arrange one with Pacquiao in Japan. Exhibition, so it doesn't go on his
I
record.
heard that. Yeah.
I like that.
He's everyone knows he's so smart around money. If you pay him well, he fight. He'd fight anyone. But
So
he's,
will I.
but he, yeah, but I mean, Mayweather he's one of the best ever, isn't he? So
Yeah.
people will still watch him whoever he fights, I think. And that's what I say. Nigel Benn, he's such a big name. Back when he was fighting, everyone watched him. He's brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Dillian White, it was announced that maybe he might be on the AJ Ruiz fight.
Yeah.
He came out this week. He was on FaceTime with Chisora. I'm glad that these two have now mutual respect and they're friends. He actually said to Chisora, "There's no way I'm fighting on that undercard. I'm a main eventer." I agree with him. He is a main eventer.
Yeah.
But he needs to get a fight in this year. So a great opportunity in Saudi Arabia. Why not?
Yeah, I think so. I mean that's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good night. So I do agree that he is a main event fighter, and he can definitely sell out
Yeah.
shows. There's a lot of people watching him, and he's definitely a pay-per-view fighter, main event. But yeah, I think there's still a few good fights that he could. There's loads of good people out there in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division now is just amazing. So there's so many people that he could fight.
I want him to fight the likes of Joe Joyce.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a step up for Joe Joyce, but I mean he's shown he's coming close to that level.
Yeah.
He's coming close to that level, so that'll be a good fight. I mean, Povetkin will be a good fight against him.
Yeah.
Against White, Ortiz will be a good fight. I know he's tied up with Wilder, but on the undercard, yeah, there could be a big fight.
Yeah.
I think you should take it.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Povetkin, he's in line to fight Michael Hunter on the AJ undercard.
He is. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Kell Brook might be on the undercard
Yeah.
before a potential fight with Amir Khan or Crawford next year.
Yeah. I think that. I mean, that's definitely past the boat,
Yeah,
isn't it?
like Pacquiao Mayweather.
That fight,
so-
yeah. But I think if it happened this year or last year, it'd have been a lot more popular.
For a belt as well.
Yeah. I think people will still watch that. They're both past their prime, but I think it'd be interesting.
Who you got for that fight?
Who would I pick? I'd actually pick Amir Khan for that.
Okay.
Before, if they was both in their prime, I'd pick Amir Khan. But a couple of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I probably would have picked Kell Brook when he was hovering around middleweight, and his fight against Triple G, I think he did quite well in that fight.
He did.
It's obviously a shame about the eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd pick Amir Khan in this moment. What about you?
I'm a big Kell Brook fan. I think
him as well, actually,
I think he's still got it, but not the level that he has to fight Crawford. I think looking at the Khan fight, he needs to take a step back from that. But in his interview, he actually looks like he believes he can beat Crawford.
Yeah. I mean, Crawford is
Yeah.
a lot of people think he's the pound for pound
That's what I mean.
number one. up there with Lomachenko. So,
Yeah.
I mean, anyone fighting Crawford has got a tough night.
Yeah.
A tough night.
I think in that division at the moment only Spence can take him on, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be a big fight. That'd be a really good fight. Yeah.
So we mentioned Joe Joyce.
That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, like domestically, that's such a good fight. I mean, they're at that level now. Whoever wins that fight, obviously they've got to get through their fights they've got planned at the moment. But if they were to fight, whoever wins that fight is on to big things.
Yeah.
I think they could possibly even go for a world title.
Yeah.
If they win that, whoever wins that, they're probably in and around world level.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're both big prospects at the moment, aren't they?
Exactly.
So that would be a good fight.
Exactly. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to talk about football. And David, we're going to talk about Leicester City as well.
What a great idea.
I know, right? We'll be back, and we've got Chiz back in the building as well. So stay tuned. And we're back. Bells and Whistle Show. We still got the gloves up, knives down guys in the building. Elijah's behind the camera now, and we've got Chiz on my right hand side. Welcome back, Chiz.
Welcome, welcome.
So, football. Let's talk about the Carabao Cup. Dane, you're a Tottenham fan.
Yep.
Shock defeat to Colchester. They got knocked out in the on penalties. Rumours now saying that Eriksen is leaving in January, but United might go for Pochettino in January or Real Madrid.
Yeah, it would be sad to lose both of them. I mean, Eriksen's been such a good player for us at the moment, definitely. So to lose him, I think will be a dent in the team, and definitely Pochettino. I mean, what he's done for us is brilliant. So I hope not. I hope they don't go. But we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed they don't.
It's not tragedy if you lose Eriksen. David's going to hate me saying this. You're linked with James Maddison to replace Eriksen.
Yeah, everyone's linked with James Maddison, but he's demonstrating some integrity at the moment.
He's amazing.
By
He's a great player.
So I think it's testimony to Brendan Rodgers. I mean, I think he's building something very special at Leicester. They're a very young team, and they can only get better. They can't get worse. I mean, Maguire was always going to go anyway, but if he can keep those people there, they've got the backbone of the England team at Leicester at the moment. You know, if Maguire had stayed and Vardy hadn't have retired, you know, it says a lot for what the family have built up there over the past few years.
It's a good club, and they're playing great football under Brendan Rodgers. They've been unlucky in a few games, especially against United. Do you agree, Chiz?
No.
That's exciting stuff, you know.
Yeah, of course. Let's talk about United. Chiz, you were at Old Trafford. Rochdale.
Tough game that was.
I know, I saw it.
They're a good team, don't
So 1-0 up, 1-1 in the last few minutes, and then to go to penalties. You were behind the goal for the penalties.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie, I wasn't confident. I thought it was gonna go out, but thank God Pogba never took one, because the crowd wanted blood from him. Him, Lingard, Fred,
Jones.
if the fan could get on the pitch, it'd been a riot, because senior players embarrassing. The kids done well. Greenwood, Chong, Pereira, Wan-Bissaka, even Brandon Williams come on for his debut. Fantastic.
But as a United fan, can you really blame Pogba and these players for everything? Can't you blame a little bit on Oli that he had the chance in the summer to sign some decent players, but he signed Maguire, a great defender, he signed Daniel James, a good prospect, but he could have brought more. He could have brought another central midfielder to replace Herrera, he could have brought another striker to replace Lukaku, a decent left back because Ashley Young is not there anymore.
Yeah, all the rumours, like obviously Fernandes, that was from minute one to the end of transfer deadline. Man United were going to sign him. It was a done deal and nothing happened. I think, for me as a Man United fan, the sort of the back four out was the main priority for us. Got Maguire in, got Wan-Bissaka in. Luke Shaw looked decent again. Unfortunately, he's just injury prone. I think we need another left back sorted out. He's actually young. Can't blame him for coming in and he's doing a job. You can't, as much as he doesn't do much, he's doing a job. I do think the midfield, and I think January, we will get one Eriksen. I've got a funny thing because Leeds not going to want to let him go on a free to Real Madrid.
They're the kings of getting the players out before their contract expires. With Van Persie, who else did you get?
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see Eriksen going to you, unless Real Madrid pounce. So
if he wants to go Real Madrid, then obviously he can reject Man United. But Leeds is not going to let him go on a free. If a player like him,
No.
definitely not going to let him go on a free.
No. So most of the Premiership clubs did well in the Carabao Cup. I was happy about this. Oxford 4, West Ham 0. Very happy about this.
I was Sunday.
Sunderland knocked out Sheffield United. Burton, last year's semi-finalists, knocked out Bournemouth, who were doing well this season. I was shocked about that game. Very shocked. Let's talk about this weekend's games. So we start off tomorrow at 12:30, Sheffield United versus Liverpool. Do you know what? Sheffield United are actually doing well this season. There have been games where, I said at the beginning of the season, they probably might do worse than Huddersfield last season, and they've proven me already wrong. They didn't hardly sign anyone in the summer.
No.
They had the best defensive record in the Championship, but I thought that was just going to fail in the Prem. But Liverpool on a whole nother level, man. Liverpool at the moment are just something else.
You get that though, don't you? When they come up to the Championship, there's a concerted effort at the beginning of the season, and there's a number of teams that are surprised. But the problem is sustaining it, because it's like holding the dam. Then once it breaks, it shut back down.
Yeah, exactly.
That happened with Leicester. And miraculously they managed to stay in the Premiership, that team. But that season, but it's often the way, isn't it? They put up a spirited performance, it's like, but the spirit can only carry you so far. Lots of other factors, creep in, like Liverpool.
So I got 3-1 for this game. You?
2-1.
2-1. Dane?
I'm going to say 2-1.
David?
4-1.
4-1.
To Liverpool, obviously.
Of course. So we got a funny one, Villa v Burnley. I could see a 0-0 written all over this, to be honest. Burnley were absolutely terrible against Brighton a few weeks ago. They were lucky to get the 1-1. Villa have been a funny team this season. There's a few games where they played well, but against Arsenal, I couldn't believe it. 1-0 up, 2-1 up, 2-2, and then ended up losing it 3-2. It's just, and they spent over 100 mil. 100 mil. It seems to me that Jack Grealish seems to grow every game. I think he's getting to the point now where he's going on some really great runs. Yeah. I think he could turn out to be a game changer. And he might, it may be that he's the difference between them, because you say it's kind of like it's deadlocked. But I think he's getting to be really quite good. I think he's too good for that club.
He's fulfilling his potential.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with 0-0. Chiz?
I want to go 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Dane?
Yeah, I think it'll be a draw. I think 0-0.
Yeah, I can't see the deadlock being broken.
No.
But if it is, it would take something special like that.
Yeah. Third place Bournemouth versus West Ham.
Sorry?
Third place Bournemouth.
Third place?
Are they third place?
No, I don't think so. Leicester, I think they're fine.
Fourth place Bournemouth.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't look at third.
So
sorry, Darren, I don't mean to upstage on your own show, mate, but get it right.
Okay, so top 5 Leicester, Bournemouth, play West Ham. West Ham coming off that shocking 4-0 defeat to Oxford United. I can actually see West Ham turning this around and get a sneaky win. I can see them, Bournemouth, especially coming off the shock loss to Burton. I think their confidence will be low for that one.
But how many players have they changed? They must have not a full strength team. They must have given players that needed minutes. So obviously the full strength team will come back.
Yeah, but come on, it's Burton. Come on, even your second team should be.
Yeah, but it's just, at the end of the day, if you've not got match fitness, that's a big factor for
Mate, Chelsea's youth team just smashed Grimsby 7-1. So I think,
Oh, my youth team does.
I'm sure Bournemouth's second team is better than Chelsea's youth team, But anyway, I got West Ham 2-0 for this one.
I love West Ham, I don't care. 2-0.
Dane?
I think it'll be 2-1 to West Ham.
I think West Ham will do it, but I don't know about it. Maybe 2-1, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
I see West Ham, as you say, biting back a bit after their loss.
So Chelsea versus Brighton.
Come on, Brighton.
Yeah. Do you know what? I can see a shock happening all over this game.
But Abraham scoring.
Very funny. Very funny. Chelsea's won only 2 in their last 8 home games.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, 4-0 then.
That's the thing that's worrying me.
That'd be 2-0
You
Chelsea.
know, 2-0 up against Sheffield United, and we ended up drawing 2-2.
There must be a big age discrepancy in the age of the team at Brighton and Chelsea. Chelsea's a lot younger, isn't it, on average?
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know, so in terms of stamina and stuff like that, and keeping at it, you can see them keeping on it, especially with Lampard, like, you know, pushing them all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Brighton have to make substitutions because they're quite an aging team.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, but it's our defence that's at the moment not that great, because Rudiger's out and Christensen is out injured now.
Yeah.
So you've got Tomori, who's doing really well. Zuma's a bit dodgy at the moment.
At the moment.
At the moment?
Yeah, I mean, dodgy
We've got life, mate.
Everton, he was alright last season. You know what? I got 3-0 Chelsea for this. Go on. Even though I don't mean it.
I'll go 2-0 Chelsea because you're home.
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0 Chelsea. Yeah,
2-0. The team that I think is going to get relegated this season is Crystal Palace. They play Norwich, that have been playing really good this season. They beat Man City. Might have dented their title hopes already.
Easy, they're tidy, yes. It's
I actually got Palace 1-0 for this.
I think Norwich. Who's that pesky player that keeps turning up and scoring goals for Norwich?
Pookie.
Pookie, yeah, I always
Pookie.
get the pronunciation right, yeah. He just pops up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I'll go with 3-0. Pookie hat-trick. Oh, it's my dream team, that's
I think Norwich will win, but I think it'll be a bit slimmer margin. I think 1-0.
2-0 to Norwich.
Did you hear what Roy Hodgson said today about Benteke? He said the only reason he plays is because we've got no choice, because all we got is you and him. But if we had another striker, he'd probably be in the youth team.
What, he actually said that?
He actually
publicly?
said that publicly.
Wow.
Did he rap? Oh, wow.
How would you feel if you're Benteke right now?
You just... You really try it. You really turn up the game and just try it. You just think
That's
that's
crazy.
I'll get my money, I'll get my way into the game.
The only other
the
striker they've got is Connor Wickham. And if you're saying Connor Wickham is better than Benteke, then the guy needs to retire.
You can't demolish someone like that. Probably it's ridiculous.
I know.
You know.
It's not wrong though, is it? Conor Wickham was better than Benteke.
So, Dane, Spurs versus Southampton.
Yeah.
Spurs at home. But you got Champions League during the week against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Poch will rest that team. Southampton, you know, they're dangerous sides.
Not a bad side.
Not bad sides.
No, they're not, yeah.
You know, they should have beat United, but
I was a dig there saying.
they should have beaten you.
Yeah, well, United do get lucky, don't they?
Yeah.
Alright, I ran one last song.
I can see Tottenham turning up for this one, 3-1.
Yeah, I think Champions League during the week may play a part. He's
Yeah.
going to put the best team obviously in the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I think we're still going to get the win. I'm quite confident about that. I think it'll be 2-0.
2-0.
I think they'll bounce back as well. They've got to. A lot of those players have got to start proving themselves again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So the bottom two are playing Wolves versus Watford. Wolves, the new Burnley, basically. You know, finished 7th, Europa League, and now is just catching up with them. I'm very surprised.
I'm very sad about that as well.
Yeah.
You know the whole thing's a Jorge Mendes project, don't you?
Yeah.
Wolves.
Yeah.
I used to live in Porto, in Portugal. In fact, he used to be a nightclub owner, Jorge Mendes, before he started going to football management. He's got all sorts of deals going with like the owner of Porto and stuff like that, and it's so much money. And I think, you know, Spurs is his land grab for you know, a lot of Premiership money.
He's Ronaldo's agent, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Mourinho.
Ronaldo at 40 at Wolves. What do you think?
No way. Never do that. Break my heart.
I got this game. I got a 1-1 on this game. To be honest, I see a 1-1. Regardless of Watford conceding 8 against City, that's 8. That's City.
Yeah.
So you know.
Okay, yeah, I'll say 1 as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wolves will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've got this preponderance to like score in the last minute and stuff like that, and I think their manager's just brilliant. You know?
He's brilliant.
Great manager.
Yeah. But the mistake he's making this season is he keeps leaving Cutrone on the bench. every time this kid comes on, he changes the game.
Yeah.
What a bargain! 16 million for this kid, and every time on the bench. But another thing, they got Europa League Besiktas on Thursday, so that can change.
Could be their undoing, couldn't it? It's like what happened with Burnley last season.
Yeah, exactly. So, another 8-0 Everton v City.
I think if Everton get beat, which they should do, I think they'll get the sack still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they'll get the sack.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Too many Portuguese in the Premier League. Not that I'm bitter because my ex-wife's Portuguese. Whoops.
4-0 I've got for this.
Yeah, without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
If you guys got 3, it's a bit of a
Yeah.
bit of a funny thing to see. If you hope there's a battering.
Fabian Delph to score against his old club.
Just like no.
That's worth a quid to put on, right?
Worth much, no, it's worth a pound.
not even worth a quid.
Yeah.
Super Sunday, Leicester City versus Newcastle.
Yeah, don't understand much of it. So let's try to roll at the moment, for sure. You know, they're playing good football, exciting football, and I can't see Brucey outfoxing, no pun intended. Brendan Rodgers gone playing great football. Madison's like, running the show. If he's playing, he's got a doubt.
50-50.
But they've got a wealth of talent in the midfield, So no, it's good. I think they've got a fantastic squad, and the way he plays them all around is good.
Yeah.
I think they're difficult. I think Leicester are a difficult team to second guess. When he puts Demar in ground, for example, and you've got Chilwell, you've got Pereira going down the wings. It's pretty compelling stuff to watch.
Yeah. I think Leicester, the only thing that's missing with Leicester right now, I think you need another striker to support Vardy. Take Vardy off, and you've got another. I think you need a target man.
Yeah. Well, we're all hoping that Iheanacho is going to do that, but he's I don't know if he's necessarily disappointed as much as not played enough.
Yeah.
But he's got talent. When he feels comfortable on the ball, like the goal he took the other day, that chip was great. But. We'll see, but you're right, he's got to start thinking about that, and also probably thinking about the way they change, because you can't keep playing that through ball all the time.
Yeah. What's your prediction?
About 3-1, 3-1 to Leicester.
Is Andy Carroll fit? Is Andy Carroll fit for the game?
I don't know.
Is he
fit?
He's always in Newcastle.
He's never fit, is he?
He's always an iffy one. Yeah, with Carroll, yeah.
Do you think Leicester can make top 4 this season?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
You're 100% confident?
100% confident of that, absolutely, yeah.
I'll actually back you up on that one.
Of course you would.
Why? What do you mean? Why not?
Of course you would. I knew you would say that.
I mean,
how?
It's not. I don't think.
I'm saying over United, Chelsea, and Arsenal. I'm not saying Chelsea will make top 4. I said from last season when Lampard was appointed and we got the transfer ban, we're lucky if we get top 10. Simple as that, and I expect that.
I think with the big clubs, they're like sacred cows, and in my opinion, we revere them too much. And I don't think it's so much Leicester, although they are playing well. I think it's the development and the stages that the other clubs are in. Like Chelsea are trying to get going.
Yeah.
Manchester United, with respect, I mean they're scrambling around a bit. They need to get Solskjaer out and get somebody else in. And Spurs are kind of like it's inertia, they're falling apart, and Leicester coming together. So. And I think it was the same when they won the league. Not that I mean to stir it amongst you, right? It was more. It was Leicester were good, but it was more to do with all the other clubs not doing so well.
No,
in all honesty,
Yeah, that's right.
I know it's a stupid question, but I've got to ask because I know that feeling back in 2004 when we did it. What was that emotion like when you won the Premier League?
Well, I'll tell you.
Right.
Because I moved from Leicester when I was to go to college and stuff like that, and I used to go down religiously. I used to get the bus into town and walk through town, get a bag of chips and blah blah blah. And on the last home game of the season, which was against Everton, we knew they'd won the league. I went up with my son, who's just 18, and we stayed with my brother, and we got the bus into town. We walked down to where Fulham Street was. We couldn't get tickets for the game. We walked round the thing, and the atmosphere was fantastic. We went to a bar where it was absolutely rammed, and we're sitting there in front of the big screen. And Ranieri walks on with the singer, and he starts belting it out.
Andrea Bocelli,
I just burst into tears. I can't remember the last time I cried. It was just like, it was overwhelming, and it was great to be surrounded by, obviously, my family from up there, but also I re-engaged with a load of friends I hadn't seen for over 40 years. One young lady, notably. No, that I won't go into. But yeah, so
That's a good story.
So I burst into tears twice. No, it was a fantastic. It was overwhelming, and it hits me harder now when I look back at it. But what they achieved, it's an astonishing thing. But you're in the moment then. But it was fantastic and great for the city. Because Leicester's enjoyed a resurgence since then, and also with that whole King Richard on finding in a car park, in the back of a Renault. And building a visitor centre, it's great. There's one thing that is quite. When I went down, was it last season after the chairman died, and one young kid wanted to start off a march from the city centre down to the ground, and she wanted the 5,000 march, and there was 20,000 people turned up for it, and everyone gathered in the city centre, and they were playing Burnley, and a load of Burnley fans came up, and they just walked amongst all the Leicester fans. Everyone was hugging one another. That was quite a touching moment as well. Wow. And everybody walked down there together in the pouring rain. It was a fitting tribute. There's lots of photographs of all the floral tributes and so on and so forth. But that was an emotional thing. It's it's been an emotional ride at Leicester.
Well,
sorry, you did ask the question.
No, I was going to ask Dane. Have you ever had a sporting moment where you cried?
No.
No, Chiz?
Not yet.
Been a few, mate. Obviously, 99, 2008. That's a good one. 2008 was a good one.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah,
Don't
take
very
it.
nice. It was very nice. I was there.
Have you?
Yeah, when Drogba scored the penalty in Munich, and I was there as well.
Oh, wow, okay, fantastic.
So yeah, I got emotional with that one. And Italy winning the World Cup, when Grosso scored the penalty, I never cried in my life like that. I was literally, yeah.
I cried after an event. I remember many years ago, I used to play in goal, and then Frank Worthington came to Leicester. I don't know if you're too young to know Frank Worthington, but he was like a magician with the football like that. And I was fortunate enough to meet him on a couple of occasions. He said, "I'll tell you some advice, David. I think you probably have a shrink. Never get married." And he was right. And I cried because I didn't take Frank Worthington's advice.
We've got a few minutes left before we go. There's one more game. It's the big one. Well, it's not as big as it used to be back in the day. It's Monday Night Football. It's Man United Arsenal. Sorry, Chiz, but I actually got Arsenal for this one, 3-1. Arsenal haven't won at Old Trafford since 2006. I know their defence at the moment ain't that great, but their firepower, I don't think United's defence can handle that right now.
Super Maguire, mate. Got it both in their pocket.
Come on.
After watching it Wednesday, after the last couple of weeks, if Arsenal don't beat us, they're bound to rest of the again. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know Jermaine will be watching this.
He's listening
I know
right
he's
now.
listening, but Jermaine, if you don't beat us, mate, don't show your face to me.
Dane?
It's a big game. I'm going to go with you now, though, and Arsenal. I picked for that game.
What's a top fan? Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's a tough game. But I think Arsenal might be able to do it. I think the way they've been this season is iffy, but I think it'd be a close game. I think it might be a 2-1 to Arsenal.
I think Man U. I think they're going to, at some point there's going to be a match.
Good man, I know that.
I think the thing is that at some point they're going to have to step up to the mark.
Yeah.
And I think that they're more likely to do that in big games. So, and I hope they do as well.
Okay, thank you guys. Before we go, just breaking news in the scores, Fulham beat Wigan 2-0 tonight in the Championship. Fulham finally winning a game on a Friday night. And Forest actually beating Stoke 3-2. I need one more goal. I put 4-2 for this game.
How much?
5-0.
So it comes in.
Hopefully. 2 minutes left. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Pleasure, really enjoyed it.
Listeners, join the campaign, join Gloves Up, Knives Down. Do you want to give us the social media again for the listeners?
Yeah, once again, Instagram's Gloves Up, Knives Down. Twitter's Knives Down. Same with Facebook, it's Knives Down. And our email is support@glovesupknivesdown.co.uk. Website, glovesupknivesdown.co.uk.
Thank you, guys. And you can follow us at Bells and Whistles Sport, at Bells and Whistles, Bell Sport on Twitter, and our YouTube page, Bells and Whistle Sport. I'm your host, Nando. Good night.